Deep within the desolate Nevada desert, hidden beneath jagged mountains and endless sand dunes, lies a facility the world only knows through whispers, speculation, and government denials. A place shrouded in secrecy, patrolled by unseen eyes, where every approach is forbidden and curiosity can be a dangerous game. This is Area 51, but behind the barbed wire, the guard towers, and the endless desert, what truths are hidden? What secrets are buried beneath the arid earth, secrets too dark and terrifying to be spoken aloud? The official story begins in the early 1950s with the U-2 spy plane program, a highly classified project of the United States Air Force. The narrative tells of experimental aircraft, stealth technology, and training of elite pilots. But even in those early years, strange anomalies began appearing in the skies over Nevada, lights moving at impossible speeds, objects that defied every known law of physics, and planes vanishing without a trace. The government dismissed them as misidentified aircraft, atmospheric phenomena, or hoaxes, but the accounts persisted. Locals, pilots, and former military personnel have told stories that are consistent, strange, and sometimes terrifying. By the 1970s, Area 51 had grown into a sprawling complex, swallowing thousands of acres of desert. The world came to associate it with extraterrestrials and unidentified flying objects. Rumors spoke of recovered alien spacecraft, bodies of beings not of this earth, and technologies that could bend reality itself. These are claims the authorities officially deny, yet the legends refuse to die. And the darker whispers suggest that what occurs inside the facility is not merely technological experimentation, it is something far more sinister. People living near the restricted area have long reported unusual experiences. Ranchers recall lights hovering silently over the desert, shifting in colors and patterns impossible for any conventional aircraft. Pilots describe objects that accelerate instantaneously, stop mid-air, or move in geometric formations that seem intentional, almost intelligent. In some cases, equipment fails inexplicably. Cameras die, radios crackle, and GPS signals distort. One local even described a night when the desert itself seemed alive, shadows moving against the wind, low metallic hums resonating through the sand, whispers carried by the breeze. When approached, these phenomena vanish, leaving only unease and fear. Witnesses have also reported encounters with beings. Descriptions vary, yet similarities are striking. Some speak of tall, thin humanoids with oversized, obsidian-like eyes, their skin pale and almost translucent. They appear near the facility perimeter at night, silently observing. Their movements are unnervingly smooth, almost gliding, and they seem aware of human observers. A former security guard claimed he once saw a creature near the eastern fence, motionless, staring at him for what felt like hours before vanishing into the darkness without a sound. Others report seeing dozens of figures moving in formation, only to vanish into the desert sands, leaving behind a faint smell of ozone and burning metal. The stories of strange aerial phenomena intensified between the 1980s and 1990s. Multiple witnesses independently reported lights forming triangular shapes, circles, or other geometric patterns in the sky. Sometimes these lights would descend close to the ground, only to rise again in a blur, leaving no sound or heat. One retired pilot described seeing a triangular craft so large it blocked the moonlight, hovering silently before disappearing behind the mountains. Electrical equipment in his plane went dead at the same time, a phenomenon he could not explain. Others recounted the presence of black helicopters flying silently, sometimes following trespassers for miles. Locals insist these helicopters do not appear on any official registry, and their technology seems beyond known military capabilities. But perhaps the most disturbing stories come from within. Whistleblowers, former contractors, and retired personnel have described underground facilities beneath the desert. According to these accounts, the facility houses laboratories, containment chambers, and experimental technology beyond imagination. Some speak of hybrid experiments, creatures neither fully human nor fully alien, restrained and studied in secret. Others describe electrical anomalies, sudden surges, and sounds that cannot be accounted for by any normal machine. Low wails, metallic screeches, whispers in unknown languages. One former technician recalled witnessing a pale, elongated figure strapped to a table, with wires and tubes connecting it to humming machinery. Its eyes opened slowly, black and reflective, and he swore it whispered his name. Guards dragged him away before he could react. To this day, he claims he has nightmares of that figure, of its presence lingering even when he is far from the desert. Artifacts recovered from unexplained incidents have also been reported. Metallic fragments etched with unknown symbols, devices that pulse with energy as though alive, materials that defy physics. These items are allegedly stored deep within the complex. Their purpose, origin, and function remain a mystery. Some theorists suggest they are alien technology being reverse-engineered. Others believe they are man-made prototypes developed through secret science, blending biology, physics, and energy manipulation in ways humanity is not ready to comprehend. Beyond the tangible, the desert surrounding Area 51 seems to exert a strange influence. People venturing near the perimeter speak of disorientation, time distortion, and vivid hallucinations. Instruments fail unpredictably, compasses spin, and some claim to hear voices or footsteps when alone. A few even report visions, brief glimpses of figures or machines that vanish when approached. It is as if the land itself holds memories, a residual echo of events too secret to be recorded. In some stories, the desert is alive, an entity guarding the facility and the secrets buried within. Disappearance is another recurring theme. Over the decades, countless individuals, hikers, trespassers, photographers are said to have vanished near Area 51. Local lore insists that those who get too close are never missing. They are taken, absorbed into the hidden world beneath the desert. Some speculate these individuals are used in experiments, integrated into projects that blend science and the paranormal. Others suggest they are simply erased from existence, casualties of forces beyond comprehension. Even when the U.S. government publicly acknowledged the facility in 2013, the revelation offered little clarity. Instead, the veil seemed thinner yet darker. The questions remain. What lies beneath the desert floor? What entities or technologies are hidden behind the fences, towers, and patrols? And perhaps the most unsettling question of all, are we meant to know? Are some truths too dangerous, too terrifying for human eyes? The area has also been linked to temporal anomalies. Some researchers claim that time flows differently within the facility or near its perimeter. Pilots report hours passing in minutes. Hikers describe nights that stretch endlessly. And some claim to have glimpsed the past or even the future through fleeting, disorienting visions. These accounts are unverifiable, yet recurring, suggesting patterns that science cannot yet explain. Shadows behave unnaturally, objects seem to move without cause, and some claim to have seen figures step out of a haze of distortion as though arriving from another time or dimension. The psychological effects on those exposed to the area are notable. Former employees speak of vivid nightmares, inexplicable paranoia, and the feeling of being watched long after leaving the facility. Some develop obsessive behaviors, returning repeatedly to the desert in search of answers they will never fully find. Locals describe a tension in the air, a weight that presses down on those who approach too closely. It is as if the desert itself remembers, as if the very sand and stone are imbued with the events it has witnessed over decades of secrecy and experimentation. There are stories of spectral figures, shadowy forms glimpsed at night, moving along the ridges and valleys surrounding the base. Some appear to mirror human shapes, while others defy anatomy entirely. One account tells of a traveler who, while observing the distant facility at midnight, saw hundreds of pale figures moving in unison across the desert floor, dissolving into mist when approached. Others report seeing ghostly lights that rise from the earth, forming symbols or patterns too precise to be natural. These tales, passed down through generations of locals, fuel a narrative that the desert itself is haunted, not by ghosts of the living, but by memories of events too terrible to reveal. Some theorists believe that Area 51 is not merely a site of experimentation, but a nexus point where dimensions intersect. According to this line of speculation, the facility has found a way to manipulate space and energy, creating portals or rifts that allow entities, technology, and even time itself to move in ways impossible elsewhere. Witnesses report objects appearing and disappearing, sounds originating from nowhere, and visions of landscapes that cannot exist on Earth. Whether true or imagined, these accounts reinforce the idea that the desert conceals forces beyond human understanding. The secrecy surrounding Area 51 is absolute. Fences, cameras, patrols, and warning signs ensure that curiosity is punished. Trespassers often report encounters with unmarked vehicles, drones, and helicopters that follow them relentlessly, never making a sound, yet always present. Communication equipment fails, GPS devices lose signal, and attempts to record phenomena result in corrupted files. To those who experience it, the desert does not allow observation, it resists being seen. And yet, despite these barriers, stories leak, fragments of truth hidden among layers of rumor, conjecture, and speculation. Some of the most chilling accounts involve direct interaction with the unknown. Witnesses describe sudden flashes of light, sensations of being touched by invisible forces, or hearing whispered commands in languages they do not understand. Objects levitate or vibrate, shadows move against their will, and some report physical changes, numbness, sudden weakness, or the feeling of being pulled toward the facility itself. These experiences are inconsistent, difficult to verify, yet the repetition of such phenomena across decades suggests that something extraordinary and deeply unnatural is at play. In the end, Area 51 is more than a military base. It is a symbol of humanity's confrontation with the unknown. It represents the boundary between what we can explain and what we cannot, between science and myth, between reality and something darker, more sinister. Those who venture near or into the desert are changed, whether they return or vanish entirely. The facility itself stands as a monument to secrecy, a reminder that some knowledge is forbidden, that some truths are guarded not by law, but by forces that defy reason. So next time you look up at the night sky above Nevada, remember this. The desert is watching. Something waits. And somewhere, deep beneath the sands, secrets are kept that mankind may never understand. Some mysteries are meant to remain in darkness, and some doors, once opened, can never be closed. Area 51 is one of those doors, and in its shadow the desert keeps its silence, as it always has, as it always will.